Welcome. My name is Dale Myers. This is Football Advanced. It's my take on all things football. I played football starting at age 8 on through college, and in high school I started actually not in high school, even like in middle school I was helping to coach rec football. So I've been coaching for probably 30 years now, and I've done that at the rec ball level up through middle school. I've been a high school coordinator, head football coach, even did some semi-pro coaching. And I've learned enough to know that I'm not an expert. Having said that, I believe that defense wins championships, but I love offensive football. So I am an option coach. So today I want to tell you why I like option football. So when we say option football, that means I have choices. Now, old school, up until 10 years ago, option football was only what Georgia Tech's been running recently, and back in the day, Tracy Ham at Georgia Southern, Oklahoma, Jamel Holloway, and all these guys back in the 80s and 90s, true triple option football where you read a down lineman and make a determination. He chooses whether or not you give it to a running back, and so we're going to talk about that. But option football has expanded. When I say option football, I'm including reading someone and then throwing a pass. That to me is option football as well. But in general, why do I like option football? The first thing is I can take 2 or more of your top defensive studs out of the football game. Your best defensive lineman, they say, as an option coach, we say if he's hard to block, that means he's easy to read. So we're going to read your stud, and he's not going to be making plays all day. We're going to frustrate him and have him guessing, do I chase the dive or do I chase the quarterback? We're going to have him guessing, because the thing is, we also have plays where if he wants to sit outside every time, we have other plays where we'll trap him and do some other stuff too as part of the package. But we take 2 or more of your top defenders out of the game. This includes your defensive end. It could be your stud linebacker that loves to run sideline to sideline and make plays. Okay, again, hard to block, easy to read. Number 2, because of this, it gives overmatched teams a chance. If you're at a school or at a program that has some tough seasons and continuously so, you don't get the best talent coming in, I suggest you learn something about option football, because again, it not only gives you a chance, as we talked about earlier, taking studs out of the game, but undisciplined teams, it will kill them. You could play against teams that are well beyond you in talent, but if you have a quarterback that can make the right reads and you protect the football, you give yourself a chance to shock some folks consistently. And this is great for teams with multiple athletes. I'm gonna combine this one, these next 2 together. Let's say you got 3 or 4 guys on your team that can tote the rock. All right, put one of them at quarterback. If you can make a couple simple reads, now you have a stud at quarterback that is a run threat. You can have a 4-back offense now. Now again, that's more like the true triple option style football. But that, again, some of y'all have a bunch of athletes. It's okay, so let's put some of these guys in space, put a bruiser running that thing downhill, and you putting pressure on the defense, because now they have to defend the middle of the field at the same while defending the perimeter on the edge, because you got a fast guy that you can pitch the ball to and circle the defense. So that's a problem for a defense. You don't need a traditional pro style or size quarterback. I don't know. Maybe you don't have a 6'3", 6'5" quarterback that can stand tall in the pocket and just deliver and throw. Maybe all you get are the 5'8" guys, 5'7". Fine, it doesn't matter. What we're asking them to do is read a defensive end, read a lineman, or read a linebacker. Okay, most of the time it's reading a lineman, but we can in the gun stuff we read linebackers too. Control the clock. This is huge. Again, if you're at a program that has been getting the brakes beat off of you, what you don't want to do is start throwing the football all over the field, getting incomplete passes, and now your defense is back on the field. A team that would have beaten you by 30 points is not going to beat you by 50 because you keep giving the ball back to your opponent. Hey, You can run clock, eat clock, eat clock. And here's the thing. Over time, middle school kids and high school kids will beat themselves. What does this mean is that guy that's used to making 10 tackles a game, he'll get frustrated, and instead of doing his assignment, he'll start guessing, and then you'll break off a few big ones. And that's related to number 6. It's simple to install and adjust. Now there are the triple option system, what Paul Johnson, these guys run. I've run it for years. It's a great system, and once you run it for a few years, you know the adjustments, and they're fairly simple adjustments too. You'll learn that you get the defense of the week, and that's kind of related to it's hard to defend with 1 week of prep. What often happens is defensive coaches will scrap everything they do for 1 week to try to face your offense, what we used to get, what we called it, the defense of the week. All throughout the year, these guys been running a 4-3 defense, and then all of a sudden they come out in some kind of a monster or some other 6-2 something because they want to try to adjust to what it is you do. That's great, because actually, see, there are rules to what you run. And once your team understands the rules, it doesn't take that long before they'll be coming off the field telling you, hey, coach, the 3 techniques coming down hard, we need to run midline, we need to do whatever. I mean, they'll tell you what's open. So again, it's simple to install and hard to defend. So that's the core of why I like running option football. And we're going to come over here, and I want to show you what I mean when I say we're going to read the down lineman. So over here, we're running this against a base of like 4-3 defense, okay? We're going to read this in here. So we're not going to block this guy. We're going to get a double team. We're going to try to double team these 2 to that one, to that Mike. Same thing here. We're going to step, try to double team these 2 for that one. Under center, there's a difference between under center and gun triple option offenses, but under center, this B-backers, most teams teach it, he's running at the outside leg of that guard. That's his track. Quarterback, gonna open up at 45, get his eyes right there on that end. I'm here, quarterback steps, looks at that end. If that end sits, he's gonna give it every time. If the end charges upfield, he's gonna give it every time. If that end turns his shoulder, that quarterback's gonna pull the ball and replace him. Right here, there's the quarterback. So we just read your defensive end, okay? Traditionally, this slot will go in motion or go on the snap. He's coming around for a pitch man. He's going to be a 4 to 5 yard relationship with that quarterback right here. Now we're reading the second level defender. This Sam linebacker. If Sam commits to the quarterback, we pitch right here. If Sam plays over for the pitch, then quarterback runs upfield. Now I know you might be thinking, what about the safety right here? He can just run that alley. Yep, most teams do that. So remember, we have a guy here, right? Most of the time we're going to arc release, outside release, and block that guy right there. So again, Sam is on the quarterback, who's on the pitch. We got X blocking on the corner, who's on the pitch. That's what makes his offense deadly. And there are all kind of switch rules you can do too. If you got a stud right here, a guy that likes to come down hard, you might say, okay, we're going to go man to man. That's fine too. And we'll get 2 for 1. You go man to man. We're going to crack this safety here, and we might just double team, just duck and go ahead and block this guy here. If your corner is going to trail, that's fine too. So again, there's all kind of adjustments. Of course, I know it's easier for me to say because I'm the guy with the marker, so I can beat you. But I'm just giving you one example of how this thing is so effective. If we wanted to, instead of reading this guy, we could do a very similar thing and read this tackle right here. Same kind of concept. The only difference is this back would run straight up the middle, called midline. Same concept though. We're going to read that tackle. If he comes down, quarterback's going to replace him. That's something for another day, but I just kind of want to give you my take on it. Now remember, I said to me, option football includes RPOs and stuff. So we're at 10 minutes. So I'm not going to belabor the point too much, but I will just draw up what became one of my favorite plays. Here we go. Put my A over here, my Z. Same kind of thing. I'm going to put a 3 here. Nose. Put my free over here. Corner. Will. Mike. Now again, obviously defense can line up lots of different ways, but when I was a defensive coordinator, I hated playing wing T offenses, but I loved the buck sweep. So eventually when I moved to the triple gun offense from the shotgun instead of being under center, I also added in buck sweep, so it became one of my great plays. So we're going to down block with the nose here. Tackle's going to cut right here. We're going to seal this in right here. This guy's going to skip, pull, get out, hit the first. Ugly man, opposite color. We're pulling, getting around the edge here. This tackle cut off and seal that backside in, or prevent any run through by that wheel there, okay? Quarterback, tailback's crossing, looking to get here, run that buck sweep. What's the quarterback doing? Well, really this free is probably going to be back a little bit. Quarterback, we're reading this guy right here. If he chases the buck sweep, we're going to throw a spot route right in behind him. This is option football. We're reading the linebacker. If he chases the buck, who's got this?